Growing up, my mother never celebrated Mother's Day. It wasn't a thing in my family until I became an adult and had a girlfriend. And then Mother's Day was very important. The thing you need to know about this is that my birthday falls in mid-May, and so sometimes there are a couple of miraculous occasions upon which my birthday fell on Mother's Day. And fireworks, that was the absolute best for everyone involved. This story takes place in about 2002 or 2003. It involves my then girlfriend, now wife. She's in the audience. She will correct me during the story because she's involved. Either during the story or later on this evening, she will correct me. You got that detail wrong, or that was not what we did. I didn't say that. So that might happen. We were moving into a new apartment in Brooklyn, where we lived at the time, and my mother had decided to gift us a trundle bed. Do you know what a trundle bed is? It's a gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving because it has many different options. You can be just a couch-like thing that is stiff and you have to sit up like this against the wall and is never comfortable for anyone. Or it can be a bed that your guests can sleep on and leave your house cursing you because they have back problems now. You can open it up and have two guests and have them both leave your house cursing you. But the gift was from her, and it was a big, big deal because she was being so generous and magnanimous, and she loved us so much, and she was so wanting to help us move into this new apartment. Of course, the gifts that my mother give, any inconvenience is on you. It's all, the gift is hers, right? Anything, if you were to complain or mention that there's a piece of this that isn't quite convenient for you, then it becomes an entire burden. How could you possibly, you'd spit on this in my face kind of thing. Like, do not look a gift trundle bed in the mouth. We rented a U-Haul truck in the bowels of Brooklyn, and we drove it up to Westchester County, where my parents lived at the time. No small, easy task, and it was going to be our job to take the trundle bed out of the room that it was in, out of the house, which is a 1920s Victorian house, and jam it into the back of this truck and drive it back to Brooklyn, and then empty out the truck and bring it into our apartment all by ourselves. That was our inconvenience. To say a word about that would be to ruin the gift. Don't do it. Don't ruin the gift. The other thing that you need to do when you get a gift from my mother, which no one will because she's been dead for 13 years, so don't worry. But the other thing you do when you get a gift from my mother is you pay penance. You pay for it. So the payment for the gift of the trundle bed is brunch. This was a brunch that took place early in May. As I said, about 2002. So the brunch, it's a Jewish house, Jewish family in Westchester County, New York. It's going to be bagels and lox, obviously. You knew that one going in. So no surprises there. So we arrive in this ridiculous truck, and we get out of the truck, and we come in. It's like, please come in and sit down. And we do, and we start to load our plates. And my mother says, so, you have plans for Mother's Day. We have plans for Mother's Day. You're going to join us, right? And I look at my girlfriend, now wife, her name is Jamie, and she's been jammed into the back of the table where she can't leave, so she's stuck back there where my sister used to sit when we were kids, and she goes green. And I'm thinking, this is going to go badly because, of course, we have plans for my birthday, which that year fell on Mother's Day. So the answer my mother was going to get to the question that she just asked was not going to be one that she wanted to hear. So I said, it's my birthday, we already have plans. And so my mother said, we always celebrate Mother's Day. How could you possibly plan something for Mother's Day? We've always done this for time immemorial. And then I made the greatest mistake that you can make as someone who is under 30 years old, who has not had extensive therapy, and does not know how to deal with a narcissist and someone who engages in perpetual performative victimhood. I did not know how to deal with that person. I made the greatest mistake you could make, which is that I began to argue with her. Even worse, I became defensive. And because this was immediately something that was going to become a wrestling match, I fumbled over my words and I said something akin to, no, we don't. That's not something we've ever done. Worst move you can make because my mother is an argument ninja. She was an argument ninja. And even before the words were out of my mouth, I had lost the argument. Might as well just go underneath the table. So that was how that brunch started off. And I remember at one point, I was a little hungry, arguing with her, builds up an appetite, and I grab some lox, and she turns and she says, yeah, have some more of my locks. Which is a crazy thing to say. It is. It sounds crazy 20 years later, but at the time it seemed like she was stabbing me in the heart with a fork. And so I realized at that point, I had to make a choice, right? And you're thinking to yourself, well, it's obvious what the two things are they have to make a choice between, right? The Freudians out there, the Jewish Freudians out there are like, you gotta choose. So I had to choose my birthday or Mother's Day. And you were thinking, no, you have to choose between your mother and the girl. Choose between your mother and the girl. So in the end, I made the right choice because the girl, now a woman, is sitting over there. And I think she's sitting over there because I chose my birthday and not Mother's Day. Thank you.